hold on 1 second, guys. Let me pull this up. Hold on. This literally just happened. I haven't even checked my microphone to make sure it's working or anything. Let me check OBS. Hello. Alright, so looks like microphone's operating and somewhat working. Everything is a mess right now. I'm a mess. But this dropped 57 minutes ago and I was completely unaware, and so I had to do a surprise stream because, oh boy, we got new Secret of the Mimic Stay Up Latte MCM Archive. This is big lore drops. We're finally getting some Edwin Murray lore, so that's extremely exciting. Let me create a post here. Hope everyone's doing well. Okay. Let me get the link for this. Oh, that's my OBS. It must have been weird for a second. It just kind of flashed up there. Okay. Make sure. Hold on. What's it doing? There we go. That's what I was looking for. Hello there. Hey. How are you guys doing? Secret of the Mimic teaser just dropped out of nowhere, and I was like, all right, I got to stream right now. No teasers, no, nothing. We just got to go for this. I'm trying to give somewhat of a post, and then we'll jump into this because, oh boy. First of all, I'm moving my mouth, but can words be heard? Can you hear me? Am I speaking clearly? I don't know if this is always the tough thing, because sometimes I've done this. Okay, good. There's like always this moment, I think, whenever I'm terrible at this. Very low effort. I probably could put more effort in it, but I always say that. The point is, this was very sporadic. I just saw this drop and I was like, what? I was talking to somebody about FNAF, and then I was like, wait a second. Something just dropped. I am really excited about this. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get the link for the stream. Should be... Where would that be? Somewhere. I hope everyone's doing well. This is kind of funny because I just dropped my interview reaction, which that was really fun. I really liked that interview that Daco did with Steel Wool Studios. That was absolutely fantastic. Really, really fun interview. A lot of like interesting things, and I've been thinking about things, and we'll talk about things. A lot of things. Because I've been thinking. I have thoughts about certain things, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about the thoughts that I have after we watch this. And we'll see how things line up, because this is perfect that this came out today, because it's perfect because I was thinking about the books. It's a book discussion, and a thought, maybe not popular. We'll see how it goes. We'll get there. Okay, here's the stream. That took me way too long. Put like an image. Ooh, and we also should talk about, after this, all the teasers, just in general, everything that we've gotten so far. We can do a little theorizing. Okay, so I want to just jump into this. This is 1:31 minutes, so it's not very long. Let me make sure my audio is good. Okay, it is. Okay, hold on. So we're getting, let's read description. Okay, recovered footage from archive of the inventor Edwin Murray. digitally restored for archival purposes. Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously, pre-order. Is this anything? Or is this just leading to the Steam? Oh, this is somewhat different. Oh, they lowered the, well, no, they didn't. But yeah, it's going to be $40. Enter the abandoned workshop of Murray's Costume Manor. Anything new? The Mimic. Oh, interesting. The Mimic, a prototype endoskeleton, can adapt to any costume and become any character, including what you fear most. Interesting that it mentions, like, this part. We're going to talk about that. Armed with only a few with only your wits. This seems like it's the same. With cryptic clues and a relentless shadow determined to dispatch all unwanted company. We're going to talk about that. Because I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's where I am with this game. I don't know if that's just talking about the Mimic. We're going to talk about that. All right. We're going to watch this. I'm going to try to keep my thoughts, because here's the thing. Every time I stream, this happens every single time. It's really funny. My thoughts go everywhere. My brain is so sporadic. I tend to get really overwhelmed and, like, talk about things very randomly, and it can be very hard to follow. So we're going to try to keep that locked in. I'm going to give this a like. We're going to get into this. Already some things. We're going to just watch this all the way through, and then we're going to watch it again. Okay. Can you guys hear it?
You look terrible. I'm exhausted. So much to do by morning. I'll never be ready.
Let's turn on captions real quick.
For my big presentation. All I want to do is sleep.
Oh, we're already...
Why sleep when you can stay up latte?
Stay up late?
No, latte. It's new. For Murray. Try it.
Oh, distinctive taste. Rich and roasted, yet creamy and sweet. Give me more.
That's Murray's secret recipe. The Stay Up Latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you, based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than you do.
That is so funny. I love the fact that it's like, it has the, like, realistic lip not animations, but the, like, live footage, like, inserts for the mouth move. It's so uncanny. I love it. It's so
I am always watching and learning. How they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come.
Morning. Did you stay up all night?
No, I stayed up latte. After 2 full pots, I'm ready to work. Promotion, here I come.
That's the Murray difference.
That is amazing. Okay. There was a lot of hidden things in that. Like, there was a lot of, like, secret things. This is very Fredbear, not Fredbear, but, like, Freddy and Friends coded. With the teasers they did in preparation for Security Breach. And they hid a lot of, like, the gameplay screenshots and things, and we're already seeing a lot of that. This is going to be really interesting to see, like, brightened up. But that, okay, interesting. Huh. That has interesting implications. I'll talk about why. And, the mention of Murrayco. Stay Up Latte creates the perfect cup of coffee. Okay, interesting. So, this is the coffee cup. This is the coffee machine from, I believe, wasn't it Scott's other project, Desolate Hope? This is like a reference. I love the fact that he's, like, incorporating this, like, deeply into the lore. Like, there's a reason for this existing. And I love the fact that you can just have Easter eggs from your other games and then just make them canon is great. I love that. Also, we have this symbol once again, which we know is the symbol for executives, but it seems like it's more broadly Edwin's specific seal, which is interesting. But this also sets up, so they said it was from Murrayco.
Rich and roasted, yep, creamy and sweet. Give me more.
That's Murray's secret recipe. The stay-up latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than you do. I am always watching and learning how another come, how another come.
I know what you want more than you do. That goes back to, so that confirms it for me. The data diver is the mimic. Because this is another thing, is like, what's your purpose? What's your place? The data diver knows. So this is the same language, but this added idea of like, I am always watching and learning is the mimic. Okay. Maybe not the mimic. Maybe something, something else. We're gonna talk about that. But okay, so this sets up the fact that MCM isn't just a mascot costume manor. This is more broadly Edwin's kind of ventures throughout the years. It's a collective of like all the inventions and things. In the books, he like tinkered with a lot of things. He didn't just make vacuum cleaners. He made anything that he could think of. Over like his basic, he was basically like just a tinkerer. He loved making things, selling them, trying to make a profit, and he spent literally hours and hours building these machines that took like very intricate work. This establishes too that Edwin was playing around with AI before creating the mimic, or potentially whatever is actually being referenced here. We'll get to that. But I wanted to look through this because there was like very clearly some screenshots in the background. I don't know how we can clearly see those. But we're looking for... Was there something there? So we have here... Oh, is that a calendar? Interesting. Oh, there, we have posters here too. So we have like a... This is very like 70s, right? Obviously. Like that's kind of the go-to. This is very 70s. I love the style of this. This is great. Love this. Let me make sure. Yeah, that is interesting. You know what immediately I thought of? It's so funny. I immediately thought about Clark Kent, like Superman. He looks like Superman, which I think is purposeful because it's like during that animation era. But he looks very similar to like a Clark Kent, but also you are right. He does have a purple bow tie. That's really interesting. Also, immediately we're getting this like this dynamic. This is very like classic 70s, 70s vibes of animation, similar to what we had like the what was it, the kind of the same era of animation for Freddy and Friends, like the On Tour, those. But I wanted to see, there's a calendar here, but I don't know if we ever...
You look terrible. I'm exhausted. So much to do by morning. I'll never be ready for my big presentation. All I want to do is sleep.
So we're getting something here that looks like a work table. Oh, is that... Oh, interesting. So we have a chair right here. Is there at any point... Oh, you can see more of it. So it's like a railing. These almost look like stairs. Is there something we can like use to see a little bit more clearly? I would pull up Photoshop, but unfortunately I don't have it installed right now. Let's see. That's that way. Hold on, my bad.
Why sleep?
Make sure. Okay, that's it's so uncanny, like the real mouth insert. So this looks like stairs and then like a workshop. Is there a point at which we see it? Okay, so we have this. Immediately this is giving me like the, okay, is that a typewriter? If so, oh boy, if that's a typewriter, that is such a fun detail. Is that a typewriter? Right there. Was he typing on a type? He was. The reason I mentioned that, in the books, there's mention that they find like a typewriter from like the 1920s. That's the reason I mentioned that in the books. That's in Edwin's house. Because he has a lot of things that are very clearly brought back from like his Victorian Queen Anne mansion. A lot of like old, early 1900s furniture, which shares some resemblance to another house. Other houses actually, from the books. Some interesting correlations there.
I'm exhausted. So much to do by morning. I'll never be ready for my big presentation. All I want to
So we have
do is sleep.
Why sleep when you can stay up latte?
Stay up late.
No, latte. It's new.
Is there anything we're missing here? Oh, wait a second. Is that just... Huh. There's like... I don't know what's a symbol and what's not. So we have this... It seems like some of this is just filtering.
Nice. Try it.
Oh, distinctive taste. Rich and roasted, yet creamy and sweet. Give me more.
That's Murray's secret recipe.
So we have this.
The stay-up latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than...
I know what you want better than you do. That's interesting. This is interesting because this would presumably be before the Mimic was even created. And the fact that, like, we're getting this. We got references to something feels wrong. Obviously. Purposefully so. Like, this is meant to be very uncanny. But there's something more generally that's been bothering me. So I was doing the math yesterday, and I was going through the timeline, which is always a deal to go through. But I was thinking about the Mimic story, everything it details, and it's like very intricate, it's very specific with the way that it lays out the timeline of events from Edwin's perspective. But thinking about one key detail. Okay, so you know how in 5 Laps at Freddy's, we see a... I don't know if I can find it. We see a billboard that is Murrayco, and it's for his, like, specifically the vacuum cleaner. It's like the most recognizable thing you could put from the books. The thing that's interesting is that it is in the map for Midnight Motorist, which Midnight Motorist is one of those really off mini games that just feels really out of place. It's just everything about it feels weird. Like you can't really place it on the timeline. There's too many things. Oh, wait a second. Is that what I did? Oh, I did do that. That's funny. Okay, hold on. How long has it been like that? Hopefully not too long. That happened whenever I think I was like pressing the back and forth keys. Oh, it's been like that for a while. That sucks. Okay. My bad. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. But main thing take away from that. Okay, so I was running the numbers. I was going through it. Something interesting that I was thinking about is like, okay, so if Murray was selling vacuums during his early company days, he said he was creating it in the early 70s. Okay, think about that for a second. He said his people stopped wanting his inventions after close to whenever, like, his wife died, whether it be from lack of demand or because of the strain that put on his mental state at the time. He just couldn't work on his projects. But the thing is, right, if Edwin created a vacuum cleaner in the early 70s, the billboard then would be from that time. But that puts Midnight Motorist during the early 70s, which means that entire thing is completely removed from every single event. Midnight Motorist may be the earliest look in the timeline, even before Secret of the Mimic, which is kind of crazy because it is happening at a time, and yes, it could just be a billboard that was left up, but I heavily doubt it because it feels like Edwin this kind of shows was like moving from project to project. It didn't really stay in too many areas, just whatever he could like create and sell and advertise, that's what he was selling, or at least trying to. It also makes sense why he would like, it suddenly makes sense why we have so much MCM branding. Whenever, according to the books, he was only working for Fazbear Entertainment for like a year and a half at the time of the Mimic. But if all of that infrastructure was already in place because he was already playing around with the AI, he was already playing around with all this stuff in his factory, because like he bought that factory whenever he like met Fiona, or like they got married, according to the books. So he's had it for a while. But that puts a lot of interesting implications of like, okay, Midnight Motorist, if that's happening in the earliest parts of the franchise, that kind of recontextualizes a lot of things, doesn't it? What the heck is happening in that minigame? Why do we have animatronics already wandering around? How is this Afton's family in like the early time? That might explain things, because suddenly, like, if it's early 70s, that could mean that like Michael's a child at this point. So easily that could be Michael in the room, just as like a kid, maybe same age as like his brother would be in like FNAF 4. But it also might be, but then what's the grave? And that's an interesting question, because it's like, it's not the crying child, so who died or what was being buried? It's also interesting that in the Mimic, Edwin specifies that his factory is next to a 4-lane highway, which, just saying, very interesting that it specifies that. And another interesting connection to that I think is really fascinating, is the idea that like Juniors, the map has always felt very similar to the layout we see in FNAF 4 but the whole thing is like in FNAF 4, it's a community. It's like a neighborhood that Fredbear, but like the house is right next to Fredbear's. And in the novels, the novel trilogy, this is a really interesting detail. When Charlie is going into Fredbear's, she has like these flashback memories. One of those memories is that she notes that the location was basically like a makeshift restaurant, that it used to be a place before, and she mentions that it had bar stools. I don't know exactly if I can pull up the quote from that, but she implies that it might have been a bar before, or like some sort of restaurant before it was Fredbear's. And that's always been a standout, because it made me think, okay, maybe Junior's is the predecessor to what would have been Fredbear's, and that place closed down and then was bought by William to be Fredbear's. So by the time we get to, if you think about this, because like, and I was thinking about this from like multiple different angles of like how this could work, and what this could mean for the timeline, because now we have Fall Fest beginning in 1970, so we are focusing on like early 70s. So William was active, presumably, because the whole thing with William is circus. Very connected things. So William being connected to the earliest Fall Fest makes sense. So if William, like, if 1970 was like the origin of the FNAF crew, because we see in the Mimic that the crew, like the staple, is present. Like the 4 animatronics that we see throughout the entire series have all been created already at this point. We see like the old Fredbear singing show. Like all of those things point to what we originally thought were like created characters for Freddy's. Now seems to be less that and more like these began as circus animals, like circus animatronics that were for Fall Fest, like a traveling circus. Which makes sense because like there's the whole connection in the novels with like Henry having books on like the traveling circus and stuff. A lot of interesting connections to that. But okay, think about this. If that is true, let's just assume a scenario here that the original crew began in 1970, right? Think back to Phone Guy's lines, which in FNAF 1 he mentions that the animatronics have been performing for 20 years. Now we've always speculated that FNAF 1 has been around since 1993. But 20 years before 1993 would be 1973. Okay? So early 70s. The FNAF the week before, based on the references that it makes, presumably are like directly in reference to the date of 1989. Now, if you put that in, that sets everything directly around the time of that first Fall Fest, which means that that directly stands up with that. And also think about this. This is like the final piece. FNAF 3, not FNAF 3, but FNAF 4, and Help Wanted, Curse of Dreadbear confirm that the nightmares, at least in design, are real. They are concepts. But whenever we see them in, like, anywhere, they're withered, they're old, they're broken down, they're really, like, torn apart. Why would that be if these were just being made? Well, if they're from a decade before, then they would be withered, they would be decayed. So that adds, that would then make it to where, okay, you could have animatronics in the early 70s running around somewhere. For some reason we don't understand yet. I think I know what that reason is, but we're gonna get there when we get there. But let's see if we can find any other interesting tidbits in here.
And you do, I am always watching and learning. Have another cup, have another cup.
Have another cup. Interesting.
Have another cup, have another.
Oh, so we're getting, what is this?
Morning.
Wait, hold on. Nah, you can't. What is this? Is that what I think it is? Is that a rabbit? Oh my god, is that a rabbit costume? So we see like eyes over here, but what is this? Hold on. My headphones are bugging out. One of my headphones just went out, which is fun to happen. Is that a rabbit? Because, like, look at this arm. You see, like, the stitching. We've seen this in, like, the screenshots. Is there, like, a clearer image of it? Hold on. I want to make sure this isn't changing my perspective on here. And honestly, like, these are just ideas. I am proposing ideas for possibilities. We don't know anything yet. This is not confirmed, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest that, like, the general timeline, this is what's getting me, is, like, is this rabbit ear? This looks very, like, this could be, I would love it. Oh my goodness, thematically, if they had, like, a rabbit in this, that would be amazing. I need that. Okay. I don't see. Oh, that's like, what is this? See, that looks like, what is that? Because that's the arm. This almost looks like a rabbit, like maybe Vanny, like as a character. That'd be really interesting. That's the Murray difference. That's interesting. I know that's common 70s lingo, but that sounds familiar. He hasn't used that before, has he?
That's very different.
I love the fact that this thing has like a face. That's so creepy. Like it has arms. Like it's an animatronic. It's like a robot coffee maker. That's great.
That's very different.
Okay. Then you have this. Anything before secrets? Okay.
It creates the
So, is there anything else that we can digitally restore for archival like purposes? New for Murray's. Secret recipe. Interesting. So, what do we think, guys? What are our thoughts on this? Because, like, I don't know, we've been just, over the last, like, few weeks, we've been kind of gathering more and more interesting thoughts. So, like, what I was talking about, and I still haven't figured out, so we have, like, I don't know if there's more things that I'm kind of, like, missing out on. Love this thing. Oh, what is that thing?
learning.
It looked like there was like a clear... What in the world? This is a rabbit. Right? Am I going crazy? Am I just wanting it to be a rabbit? What is this thing? This is clearly a costume. Maybe it's the jester? Or... I'm guessing this won't be the last one of these the release. Although it's not that much away. It's just interesting. So we have this. I'm curious if we have any like updates or changes to the if we have any like new screenshots. I don't think we do. No, it doesn't seem like it. This, I mean, it might be the elephant, I guess. That might make... No, it's like... what is this thing? This right here, what is that? This also looks like a sign, maybe? That's interesting. Interesting. Oh, that is true. Like, it definitely has the same build to it. The thing that's throwing me off is the ear up here. Because, I guess, let's see. I think it's got a similar build to it. But I don't think, because we've already seen the, so like, you have like the nurse animatronic right here. I guess it could be, it's not, I don't think it, oh, I could see that. I could see that. So you have like the hair, that could be like the hair bit, but I don't know, this feels, yeah, it could be. And the more I look at them, the more it kind of seems like it. It's just, so this could be that room that she's in. And also, this is a nurse, a carnival nurse animatronic. So this is for Fall Fest, presumably. It's also got like the, I think like the same star symbol kind of thing to it that we've seen everywhere. Interesting. Okay, no, that's true. That's a good call out, actually. So possibly this is the nurse. Wonder why. So this is the part that like really interests me. This part right here, where it says,
How they know they're coming. How they know they're coming. How they know they're coming. Watching and learning.
"I'm always watching" is a line that is directly quoted by Springtrap, directly in FNAF AR, specifically in the teaser for that. This is also something that is mentioned in the books, I believe. Watching and learning, so it's like the idea of like the eyes we see in Ruin, observing, watching, learning. What's interesting here is not that, but "I know what you want better than you do." That's a switch. That is an immediate switch in narrative that I think is fascinating. So, I know what you want better than you do. The thing is about the Mimic is one of those entities that does not know what it wants. There's a lot of evidence for this. My goodness. The Mimic is so easily molded and influenced, which is what makes it so dangerous. Because everything that it's influenced and molded to be is around the lens of violence. Because of what Edwin did to it, because of what it's been infused with, because it basically was given, Edwin's rampage on it was so violent that it infused it with his intention. His emotion, a part of himself, kind of got infused into the animatronic. And that's what makes the Mimic so dangerous. That's why it does what it does, because everything then was distorted. It was changed. It started to act out on emotions that it now had that it couldn't understand. That's why we're getting so much parallels to Baby and the novel trilogy, because it's the same concept as Baby from that book series, where the whole thing is that it was an animatronic that was infused with Henry, which, to be clear, Henry and Edwin are a parallel. They are not the same person, but they are a parallel. The way that it is described of Edwin beating the Mimic is the same exact phrasing as Henry doing the same thing to the endoskeleton that would become Baby. And that's really interesting. That's fascinating. Because in FNAF AR, FNAF AR's promotional materials specifically, and kind of the things outside of that game, absolutely fascinate me. One of the reasons being is that it uses Baby a lot, just like Steel Wool does. And one of the things that it has is she has like on like a Reddit account that they created that was like officially meant to promote it. They had like in-universe quotes from Baby in there, and there was a lot of interesting crossover and dialogue between like other characters that were being used like in her voice. Like one of those things is like, I don't know if I pull this up, but in FNAF AR, hold on, YouTube. This is probably my favorite FNAF trailer of all time. I love this trailer so much because not only does it have the beloved Markiplier in it, this trailer right here has so many fascinating Easter eggs that still, I believe, have implications well beyond the plot of the game. It has so much that's overlooked. Like, people barely look into this game, but I'm telling you, like, this is a gold mine for theories, for theorists, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So, in this game, we gotta skip past Markiplier, because that's not, but, okay, we're always watching and waiting for you. Actually, this might be good, but look at this. Look at this. The tagline for this.
Remember, we're always watching.
We're always watching you. Literally, I know what you want. Okay.
Want better than you do. I am always watching.
Watching and
watching and learning. Have another cup.
Have another cup and have another. It's excess. It's using that of, you know, to like go to the extreme, right? You know, you could throw in probably some criticisms of capitalism in there, probably be like, you know, the AI's learning from us, and then it's like, have another cup, you know, it's continual of that, like, bad behavior, of, like, overconsumption, but it's, like, it's just interesting, but no, look at that, so we're always watching you, same language, also I just love the fact that there's, like, references to FNAF AR in, like, the YouTube thumbnails below. That's just, I love that so much. FNAF AR has a lot of lore that crosses over to what we're seeing now. Like, my trailer is fantastic. I love this so much. But there's whispering here. It is Michael's voice lines from Sister Location that is being said here. Fascinating, because the thing here is, right, you hear whispering. It looks very much like Glitch Trap.
I've been living in the shadows.
I've been living in the shadows. That line right there. A relentless shadow determined to dispatch an all unwanted company. That's interesting. Okay? Because in Ruin, this once again, this is how my brain works, but we're trying to stay focused. Also, it's really bothering me that only one of my ear buds is in and the other one's like charging right now for some reason. But the point is, okay, this is so good. I love this. In Ruin, leading up, we had like the secret security breach website that was changed. One of the promotions for this, there was like 2 lines that like every week was being like updated to create like a string of a sentence, right? One of those was, we see shadows within shadows, right? So, not just seeing shadows, but there are shadows within those shadows. We know shadows exist within this franchise, as like we've seen like the shadow animatronics. There's a lot of things that people do not understand about. I was talking about this literally before the stream. There is a concept within the games and the books that people do not understand, and it is like one of the most crucial mechanics that we're seeing now, having to do with the shadow animatronics, which nobody touches, nobody knows what those things are. I can say I do. It's really interesting. Glitch Trap is a shadow, to be clear, right? And one of the things you get in this trailer... watching you, and it is the one who's saying this. So you get a reinforcement of, okay, we're always watching, which is reinforced in Help 1 and 2, because on the screens for the sister location levels, what's on the monitor? It's they're watching. Into the Pit. What was it? Okay, let me look at this. This is crazy. So Into the Pit, there was a secret binary code. Where is it? Where's this thing? That's on the arcade machines. And it says, I believe we're watching. Binary. this should have it. Okay, true dead. Where is it? Whoa, wait a second. That's where I've seen that. Wait. Is that right? No. Wait, hold on. No, because that was, Hold on, I'm thinking of something right now. I'm getting caught up on other stuff. Hold on one second. Where's that thing? There was that thing on the arcade machines that you see. Okay, yeah, it says always watching. I was trying to get confirmation for it because I wanted to make sure. So, always watching. Ah, it's so cool. Okay. So you see it here. The motif of always watching. FNAF AR. In Help Wanted 2. They're watching. In Into the Pit. A spin-off game. Always watching. And all of it typically has like this connection to both kind of like it's kind of twofold. It kind of has a connection to Afton, but it also has a connection to like sister location with that line. Something overseeing everything. There is, oh my goodness, there is a major Easter egg at the end of this video. And it is like a literal like look and you'll miss it. I'm gonna try to see if I can find this freaking thing because it is really difficult to find actually. And this trailer is fascinating because of this. Where is it? Where was it? Because it was like there are words that appear, and these are like really interesting. This company, Illumix, I know that there's like a lot of not controversy, but just stuff that happened that was like unfortunate in the way that certain things were handled. But the company itself created some of probably the best like teaser trailers we've seen. Like the very creative, I will say. But no, there was like a line right before here that had like a block of text. And I don't know if this is something that I can just look up, probably. I think I've done it before. Let's just look it up. FNAF AR, trailer, secret text. There's a lot of Easter eggs within this. Oh, this is actually... Where does it go? There's like a block... You see that? Which is oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Ah. This right here. Ah, it's so good. I love this. This comes directly after a voice tells us to like it's Afton, Springtrap. That's telling us to like come back or like I forgot what exactly. Okay, so this screen right here flipped me out. I love this. It's like a bunch of words, and what it kind of looks like to me, it almost looks like, have you ever seen one of those like book diagrams where it's like it should like the bigger the words are, the more frequently they appear? That's exactly what this is. And you see, listen carefully, I'm watching you to survive together again. And it's like, put me back together again. Remnant, you see this being mentioned. Voices, listen carefully. I'm watching you. To survive, turn around. Remnant, put me back together. It is literally giving you the plot of what this entire story is about. Something is telling you to listen, specifically like voices, footsteps, right? Listen carefully. I'm watching you. To survive, turn around. Remnant, put me back together again. It is something that has been broken apart. So this is Glitch Trap. It's talking about Glitch Trap. But it's saying, I'm watching you. Once again, that motif appears again. So that's fascinating. So to have it here before the mimic has even been created, because this would be like well before then, this thing, and yes, it can easily apply to the game as well. The fact that it references, hold on. Oh, because it's still lore. It's still lore, my friend. Why are we looking at a now defunct game? Because, bro, there are still so many things people missed. That it's still canon. FNAF AR in its entirety is canon, and it's important. Thankfully, it's been kind of preserved through like the Ultimate Guide. There's a lot of interesting things said about it in the Ultimate Guide. But no, it's like this trailer to me is like, I love this thing so much. It is so good. We're talking about, in the trailer, basically, we're talking about the mimic. We're also talking about Glitch Trap and the, like, constant thing that keeps coming up of, like, something watching us. Something, like, continually being over and learning, gaining information about us. And the thing is that I'm proposing is that this is not just talking about the mimic. I think that the mimic is not acting alone. I hope we see it in the games. Oh my goodness, I have like so many ideas that I really hope they do. Because the thing is, I would love if they mixed... FNAF fans are here for the supernatural side, to be honest. Like, it's how it started, right? 5 spirits possessing 5 animatronics, like, it's classic. You need the fun supernatural side to keep the story interesting. You have it with the mimic, but the mimic is a literal vessel. If you think about it, it is a reflection of something else. So if it is Glitch Trap, what is it reflecting off of? That's kind of interesting to think about. Where did it get that piece from? And why is it acting the way it is? Because the thing is, in the books, which no matter if the books are canon, and I guess this is a good time to talk about kind of my perspective of what the books are, which I'm trying to think of how to like approach this. The books are canon, by the way. The books are canon. I think that's pretty clear at this point. They're important. They are applicable to the story that we are seeing now. They always have been. Even the novel trilogy has been applicable to the games, to some extent. The themes, the concepts, all of it. And that gets me to kind of my new perspective, I guess, for the books. I think that the books were not made to be one for one. I think we're also seeing that, because none of this was in the books. None of this, like, MCM that wasn't in the books. Edwin being a contractor instead of it being bought out. Yes, there could be a way of explaining that. And I think there are ways to explain it, but I think that's because of what I'm getting to. The books were never meant to be a one-for-one recreation. They were meant to give you more perspectives to reveal the world as a whole. That were then going to allow you to be able to take that world and use it to be a filter, a lens through which you can then theorize and connect pieces together to the games to solve it. That's what Matt Pat did with like some of the earlier stuff with like the novel trilogy and stuff. And he got a lot of stuff right. Like, I think that's really interesting. Like, he got a lot of stuff right. Even with Security Breach, he got a lot of stuff right. And we're seeing more and more how right his earlier theories in regards to kind of the newer era were actually right all along. It's kind of crazy. But like, when you think about it, the like we don't really hear about anyone talking about Fazbear Frights, at least not as much as I think we should be, because there's a lot of really interesting concepts in there that I think are really applicable to the games, to the story we're seeing now. A lot of things. It goes really deep, and it goes into this right here. This has so many massive implications, right? You have an entity that is overseeing everything, watching and learning, but it wants to be put back together again using Remnant. Deploy. Does that say deploy down there? That's interesting. There's like a lot of like smaller words I can't really read. Footsteps, turn around. Do we see that? The whole thing with FNAF AR is that you are collecting Remnant for Glitch Trap, effectively. A virus enters the system, Glitch Trap, and it instructs you that you want to collect Remnant for some reason. And these like animatronics that are part of the Fun Time rental service, which by the way is a reference to Sister Location with the rental like service, is being like taken over by that. And guess who appears? I love this. Shadow Bonnie appears for the first time since FNAF 3. Not FNAF 3. Yeah, well, I guess there was an Easter egg in FNAF 3, but like FNAF 4, FNAF World, you had that, but you haven't seen like since like Ultimate Custom Night. You saw like Shadow Bonnie in there as well. I can't forget that. But really, since then, he hasn't really been seen. Since then, supposedly, that's what I'm getting to. That's really interesting. Why would Shadow Bonnie be in this game? Why would that be the case? And why are we talking about this in regards to the Mimic? Because I think that Shadow Bonnie, or at least the shadow that it is, has been around for a lot longer than we may have assumed. I think it might appear in this game. That gets into a lot of weeds of what I think the shadows are, what I think their purpose is, but let's just say it has nothing to do with Fazbear Entertainment. Like, literally nothing. To them, it is a prime target. The Mimic is nothing more than a vessel to it, because it's been tainted with agony. It's been tainted with Edwin's intention that he placed into it, and that then caused it to become violent. To it is like, I think that is what is being referenced here whenever it says a relentless shadow determined to dispatch all unwanted company, right? Because that's also what we see in Ruin. The shadow doing in that game with Cassie is determined to dispatch us, to get us out of there, to stop us from messing with the Mimic, because it has the Mimic exactly where it wants it to be, and it doesn't want us to interfere with what it's trying to do, what its purpose is. So that's kind of the thoughts that are going through my head right now. I know there's a lot of things that kind of like pulls into. Oh man, it gets it's so interesting. I love the concept of this world so much because nobody really talks about it, but it's so fascinating. It gets into so many interesting weeds and scenarios and world building that the books, the movie, all of it goes through, and it's so interesting. That's my perspective now with the books, is that they are reflective of the same world that is being built out, that all of the other materials in multimedia use as kind of a guideline or rule book that needs to be followed. Like the concepts, the world building, the characters, it's all presenting like threads for us to pull on. And it's like, okay, we pulled on the Mimic thread. So that was good for us to do, because it was planned from the very beginning, since Stillwell has been in talks about this game since directly after Security Breach. Why would you do that if you didn't know that the Mimic was going to be a part of Security Breach? That means that, like, there's probably tie-ins throughout this series to this kind of thing, either directly or indirectly. Now there is. So it's interesting. What do you guys think? I know there's not too many of you guys in here, but I'm just trying to kind of gauge reaction of I don't know. I'm seeing a lot, I know. But there's just a lot to go through. It's really interesting. I do love the pun here, stay up latte. It's funny. I wonder if this is actually like an actual catchphrase anywhere. I'm curious about that. No, I'm not getting it much. I'm sure it has been used at some point. I didn't know if it was like a direct reference to something. But, well, I have been, oh my goodness, I have been yapping for an hour. What the heck? Oh my goodness. I've just been talking. I've just been looking at this trailer and staring at this and talking about FNAF AR for an hour. That's crazy. So, what do you guys... Okay. There's another thing, too. Hopefully this doesn't pull up. Okay, no, we're good. Another thing... I have a screenshot of this. This right here. I love this. Not that one. Full one. Okay, here. Look at this, guys. So, this matches up perfectly with this line. I've been, like, hyper-focused on this line because it's really interesting. So it's like, I'm always watching you. I know what you want before you do. Your data diver knows. Where do you belong? Your data diver knows. Helper. Helper is the face of the system, which is also kind of paralleling the whole helpy mimic dynamic. If it ends up that is true. It is... worth noting, something I noticed, and this is like a really small thing, all of these are like symmetrical, like they're all like mirrors of each other. I thought that was interesting. You know, like, I mean, I think some of that can be like kind of obvious, but the symbols are interesting. I wonder how they'll play out. So where do you belong? Your data diver knows. There's also the question of like whether the Vanny mask possibly has any place within this game. Like, if possibly we're gonna see like that Vanny poster come back, especially if Vanny ends up being like a character. I think that'd be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Especially with how the data diver is basically like the Faz wrench, and the Faz wrench has on the back of it a code that is a direct reference to the Stage 1 minigame, which has it's a hexadecimal, not hexadecimal, yeah, is it like it's the color code for purple? Well, it's the reverse, because I think it's yellow, but the reverse of that is purple. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. It's the 3-something thing, the Stage 1 code from FNAF 3. Which immediately sets this up, right? With that number being so connected to Afton, would it be crazy would this be crazy if we ended up being like, we're playing as William Afton? Yeah, would that be crazy? That would be so fun if we were just like, it's revealed that we're just like a young William Afton. I don't know. And we find the mimic. I love like just everything about this. This is such a good poster. Has Steel posted anything recently? Let's see. Stubble. Anything said about it? I'm so excited about this game though. Oh, somebody did actually brighten that up. Wait a second. Someone? Huh, that's something interesting in the background. That is so funny. I would just love it though if like we get to the end of this entire series and Scott's just like, yep, Desolate Hope is actually the ending capstone of FNAF. Wouldn't that? I know that's such a random thing, but I just seeing references to the coffee machine being from like Desolate Hope, and like I've never played it before. I should. I've heard it's like a very interesting and very like beautiful game that like has a lot of like philosophical. It's like apocalyptic is like what I'm been led to understand. But okay, so we've got that. Is there anything else we want to go over or talk about for another hour? If it did turn out to be William, was the main character of The Secret of the Mimic. Oh, that would be great. That would be fantastic. That would give it away though. That would like instantly. I guess PJ Haywood probably would like put a voice on for it. Because like I the British accent's very exaggerated. Like, it's very put on. But, oh, that would be so interesting. Oh, that would be really interesting. I don't think that would be the case, though, because it seems as if what it's really setting up is that the character we're playing as is the character we play as in Help Wanted 2. That it's the same character, because it's the whole thing. It's a key. It's familiar to you. It's the Faz wrench. We use the Faz wrench. It's the only issue with that is that would make like Cassie's dad to be like, you know, around Edwin's age, which would be like 74, and I mean like that would be really old for having like an 11-year-old 12-year-old kid. That's the only thing that I see being an issue, unless of course it just ends up that like, hey, it's revealed that Cassie and her dad are just dead, and are souls being trapped in the Vanny mask. Wouldn't that be fun? Everyone would love that twist, wouldn't you guys? Wouldn't you love it if you just ended up realizing that everyone in these games just dead? They're just dead. They're souls. What can I tell you? That'd be like almost as if it's like it's all a dream. It's all a dream, guys. I don't know. It being souls, I wouldn't mind. I think I would be interested in like. It would explain a lot of things though, right? Because like, Escape the Pizzaplex is a weird story. It's got a lot of holes, but boy, oh boy, the whole fact that like Cassie is just like spending a bunch of time with Gregory just alone, and her dad is just like completely just gone. Also, this is freaking me out because somebody just joined and said hi, but you have the same name as me. Hello, fellow Sean. My name is also Sean, and it's spelled the same way. So I have to acknowledge you. I am so sorry. But hi, how are you doing? I don't think you are the Mimic, though, just to be clear. But yeah, so The Secret of the Mimic just dropped, and we just talked for like an hour about the phrase, I am always watching. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I'm in a severe thunderstorm? Oh, goodness. I hope you stay safe and that watch ends up being nothing more than just like a just something that goes away and you get sunshine and nice sun, because I think everyone deserves that. Although I've been like incredibly lazy today, I've just been kind of sitting around, and then this dropped and I was like, oh, I gotta get there and live stream randomly, which it's I love this. I love doing like just random stuff. Oh, well, I mean, Alex is a I didn't mean to say it like that. Alex is a good name too. It's funnier that like your profile name has, I'm sure that's probably based on like a different person, probably. I assume so, or a different account. Who knows? We're not gonna get into the deep lore of some random person's account. But I'm struggling now because I'm having to struggle with the idea that I just talked for an hour about just the whole idea of this just one single line. Oh no. Hurricane season. Well, I hope wherever you are, you stay safe, because that is not fun. I'm thankfully in a place where I don't really, well, there's like effects of it, but I mean, here in the States, you know, living in kind of the middle, it's not as bad as I'm sure some places get it, because goodness, you look at like places like Florida or like just any coastal place just getting hammered by like her hurricane, it's horrific. Like, goodness. But just remember that the mimic is always watching and learning. But yeah, I love this line. I will say, okay, one thing that I will say, I know that I said that I know what you want better than you do. I know I said this was uncharacteristic for the mimic to say. There is something to be said for it, though, because in Nexi, in that story, once again, it's a learned behavior, so it's not the same, but it's like, the whole idea of that story, right, is that, like, the mimic is trying to find its place in, like, this new form that it has. And it's, like, following this young girl who, like, loves the doll and is trying to, like, teach it good things. This is something that's really interesting, is, like, she's trying, Astrid is trying desperately to teach Nexi good things, good behaviors, good belief systems of, like, hey, you shouldn't put yourself down, like, you're beautiful, even if you're messed up, even if you have like what am I looking for, like, even if you don't look typical, it doesn't matter, you know, you should accept yourself for who you are. That's what Astrid is trying to do. The problem is she isn't really doing that herself. And the mimic is kind of feeding off of that, is the fact that, like, Astrid's kind of speaking out of the side of her mouth, because the whole point that she got the doll was to be like everybody else. So it's like this kind of double standard that she has, that the mimic kind of sees, understands, but it starts to learn its own thoughts of, like, okay, it's trying to understand what beauty is, what's beautiful. And at the end, it determines that, like, yes, it is beautiful, but then, like, it then transform Astrid into what it is, right? So it's learned behavior that I got from that whole interaction was, okay, I could make you like me, and that would make me feel better, you know? And Astrid at the end has that, like, haunting line where she's like, I am beautiful. A lot of interesting familiarities and stories with some other ones. It's interesting, especially with, like, the mimic being like, I know what is beautiful, kind of based on, like, the stereotypical concept that kind of like To Be Beautiful kind of goes through too and talks about. It's like building on those same concepts, but like so. It's interesting that it's like it knows what you want, but it skews it in a way that it's like it fulfills it in a way that it wasn't intended to be, which makes sense for the Mimic because it's filtering everything through a flawed mentality, because it's like it's interesting. It's almost like a reverse existential crisis where it's like it's not a living thing having an existential crisis. It's like a machine. I guess that would be like I have no mouth but I must scream. Isn't that kind of what that story's about? I haven't read that, but I know like the whole ending monologue is like it's a robot that like feels emotion that it like can't comprehend, and it has like such a like a visceral anger, but it's like it doesn't have a way to express it because it's a robot. And it's kind of like that. That's what the Mimic is. The Mimic is literally like a voiceless machine that can't express the emotions that it can't physically understand, which is really interesting. So its flawed mentality here is like, I know what you want, and what you want is more, because it looks at humanity and it sees like, oh, you're messed up. You just want more. So it's like you just want another cup of coffee. Another flawed mentality that it shares with another character from Fazbear Frights, Eleanor. That's the whole flawed mentality that she has, that like humanity, it's from a different perspective, though, on kind of like a separate end of the spectrum. Because with Eleanor, she's far more aware and manipulative, but like it's interesting to hear she has like principles that are flawed and horrible, but not necessarily wrong. Like she was like, there's one line that is really fascinating to me where she's like pretending to be Jake's friend, and she's like, we're not the real monsters. The people that like see us are as monsters, those are the real monsters, because they are, I'm butchering the quote, I don't know the exact quote, but it's like basically like they aren't grateful for life, they don't know, like they're a bunch of horrible monsters, they're the real monsters. Humanity to them is the monster, which that's mirrored through like Count the Ways, with that whole story of like, you are going to die because like you aren't grateful for what you had, so therefore we're just gonna kill you. Like that's kind of the mentality of it. It's with like more purpose to it, because like there's the principle side of it, but then there's the other side which is like, I want eternal life, and it's like okay, weird for like a supernatural entity to like, hey, I want to live forever, even though I kind of already am. But it seems like it's more like a want to be human, to have physical form, and to then live forever in that way. Like Afton, it's kind of a reflection of that. But the Mimic doesn't have those kind of things, which is interesting. Like, you look at every way that like the Mimic is betrayed, and it doesn't have that same personality of expressing a want or desire or purpose for anything. It just is a reflection of something else. It's always just something else. Except in Ruin. Ruin is the only exception where what it wants is it wants to be free. It wants to be escape. Which is really interesting, because in that game, it expresses emotion. It says, I am lonely. I am alone. That's something like Gregory the Grimmick keeps saying over and over again. Is like, I'm alone. And so it's like, it almost feels genuine in the way that it's saying it. It's interesting that like the Mimic as a villain had us help Sun and Moon. Like, that's kind of weird. Why would it do that? That wasn't Sun and Moon wasn't like a node, but yet they had us to like take care of it, stop it from being like a threat, maybe neutralize it, whatever you want to kind of rationalize that with. You still help them, which is interesting. And then obviously you had like the whole Roxy situation, which seems to us to be a bad thing. Because we don't have the full picture, but there's some weird things with that feel really off. Like the fact that Roxanne just kind of appears and just is fine and reactivated and it didn't matter, and just suddenly recognizes us for some reason and like remembers our birthday, and like it's almost like her programming is reversed. Especially, oh my goodness, if you consider Escape the Pizzaplex, those moments like completely change, because there's so much history there that is just not recognized. Frustratingly not recognized, and it's like, what is going on? What is happening? If you watched my read-through of Escape the Pizzaplex, my goodness, the amount of turmoil the ending of that book gave me, it gave me an aneurysm, I'm telling you. Oh, it made me so sad. I feel like we should play a game or something now. I'm trying to think of like what we could do now, because I feel like we've kind of gone through this rabbit hole enough. I was looking at some games, actually. But I'm not sure if I want to jump into them yet. I've been playing Oblivion recently. That's pretty fun. I haven't gotten too far on that. I have too many games to play. I hope everyone's doing well still. I really just love doing these streams where I get to like react and break things down. Eluding the monster. Yeah, right here, discovering remnants of eluding the monster he's created. It's the whole like Frankenstein thing. Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for whatever you awaken in the dark. That's kind of ominous. You know, the Mimic is kind of a very interesting villain. Interesting. Every flicker of light. Interesting. Okay. This is me putting on my literary cap. My literary analysis, if you will. Notice the way that it's playing with the concepts of light and dark. You say, here, you'll step into a world where every dark corner holds a secret and every flicker of light hints at an ever-present threat. So you have like that dynamic of light and dark. But then you keep seeing it because it's like, right here, relentless shadows, that mention, but then again you have like mention of like awakening something in the dark. So and like in the interview they reference the main path as the golden path, which I think is interesting. Another reference to light. Because in Princess Quest, the whole dynamic of that is fighting shadows with light. And having, like, the golden sword. The golden key. In, like, the Curse of Dreadberry, you had that, too. With, like, you had, like, the maze. Grim Foxy's maze. Which is, like, you had to find, like, either the golden key or, like, the glitched out key that opened the cellar. So you had like these two routes, and one of them led you to the exit, while the other one led you to Glitch Trap and the Vanny Mask. So it's like having those kind of split paths. Something I think is interesting too, in Help Wanted 2, you saw in Princess Quest 4 some interesting dynamics with us and Old Man Consequences, where we gave him the Glitch Trap plush, which he then gave to Vanny to destroy, but we gave him in turn. So the whole like dynamic is like he gave us the oh no wait no, that wasn't it. I'm thinking of this wrong. We gave him the Vanny Mask, and he took it and then gave us the plush. He gave us Glitch Trap. So what that tells me, Old Man in that seems to be a stand-in for Mimic, like the Mimic in that story. Because if you look at that dynamic, we gave him control of the Vanny Mask, and in turn, he kicked out Glitch Trap. That's interesting. That's really interesting to think about. So, the whole... do you want to see something that's going to blow your guys' mind real quick? I don't know if anyone cares about this, actually. This might be useless information to everyone involved, but we're going to look at it anyways, because I'm talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. That means I've got to talk about all the stuff. You get to see all the books I've got in my Kindle. My goodness, there's so many. So, probably nobody considers this a trusted source anymore, because I don't know, I haven't found anything like super flawed with it, but the security breach files didn't really give us too much. It did give us this line, though, that I think is really interesting. If I can find it. So, in the ruin section, this is really interesting. I love this. Where did it go? In ruin. Trying to find it. Okay, here it is. Oh, this is so much fun. Okay. This is where my brain is going to. This is why I think the Mimic isn't the main threat of the games. It is an antagonist, but it's not like a malevolent force. Because in the update for the security breach files, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this is referenced in the like Ultimate Guide, but that's going to be way after Sodom releases. So, here, 1 second. Let me look at this. Okay, so on this page, hold on. Look at what we have right here. Okay. I love this. This is fun. Okay. It's a Vanny Mask. It's Vanny's mask from the main game. Interesting that it brings that up. That this is like they established that within the game, that like they showed the picture of Vanny chasing Gregory, and Cassie specifically mentions, "Hey, look, it's my mask. She has my mask." It specifies that it's the same mask, which it isn't the same visually, but it's like they're connecting the two. Into the cyberspace AR world, where she can make repairs to security nodes, operate special AR cameras, and walk through spaces that were previously obstructed. It's all good. Well, except it leaves Cassie vulnerable to attack from the entity, a virus. Okay, a virus that infects AR. You see that? Whenever Cassie wears the security mask, the entity moves gradually towards her, and if he reaches her, summons an animatronic to attack. It is directly calling it out that the entity is a virus the entity is Glitch Trap, or not Glitch Trap. I think where Glitch Trap came from, like the main entity that is the reason for everything that we're seeing. And the reason I bring that up, the reason that I'm talking about this at all, is because in the Mimic, right, what we see, I'm trying to figure out, what am I trying to say? So, you have two sides of the same coin. You have a program and you have a virus. A virus infects the program. It infects Mimic 1. And so you have a entity that is using or living inside of another program, whether that be to manipulate it or simply to use it to survive. That means that, like, that's why I say Old Man in Princess Quest 4 seems to be a stand-in for the Mimic, because what we're doing is we're trading control of the Vanny Mask that leads directly to ruin for a virus that then is crushed. But then we see the virus in ruin. So what happened? Is that not canon? Apparently, according to like the files and stuff, it is the true ending. That is the real ending. But if you look at the puzzle, right, the two sides of the puzzle, the double vision, is you have the Mimic in the factory and Glitch Trap, or the virus, the entity, on the other side. One puzzle, two pieces. You have the entity and you have the Mimic. They're two sides of the same puzzle. It's such a fun visual thing, but like they are two sides of the same puzzle, literally. And they're at odds with each other because one is trying to control the other, one of them's trying to get free. It makes sense to me if Glitch Trap or the entity, the Agony, potentially is something outside of the, like, just all of this stuff. I think it very easily could be that the Mimic's been carrying this thing around since the beginning. So we might see it. I think that would be really interesting. If that's where, like, it entered through. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. I've been looking at a game to play. Or I might just end the stream, we'll see. There's so many games I need to play. I don't know if anything of the things that I've said makes, like, any remnant of sense. I don't know. I hope it does. In some way. Hold on. One second. hope everyone's been having a good week. This is definitely very fun. I like this. This is a good teaser. MCM Archive. Oh man. I have no idea what to talk about now.
Better than you do.
Always watching and learning. Imagine I'd just like take an hour to talk about that. Like, oh guys, that reminds me. How many bonbons would it take to beat DJ Music Man in a fight? I mean, here's the thing, right? Would Music Man even notice if a bonbon actually got on him? I think that probably Bonbon could, like, that sneaky guy, he could literally just go inside and just, like, rip out all the wires. So probably just one, honestly. It's a boring answer, though. 1,000. 100% 1,000. I mean, if you think about, like, okay, let's be honest. If it was another, like, mini Music Man versus DJ Music Man, those Music Men would, like, those things are so annoying. They would probably just, like, the DJ Music Man just wouldn't want to live anymore after hearing, like, those cymbals. Just like, I'm out of here. Sorry. Bye, guys. But yeah, I think Bonbon. Just one, probably. I don't know. Especially if it had, like, a Funtime Freddy just to, like, throw it. That would be really funny. My goodness. Okay, there is one game, though, that I will say that I've been wanting to play. That looks so unique. I've been wanting to play... Well, there's a couple games. There's a couple games that I've been looking at, actually. I was going to make a... I don't know if this is going to... No, it's not going to be over here. There's one game called Once Upon a Puppet. It's got very positive reviews. It's out right now. But it looks so good. Looks so good. I really want to... It's like a 2D, kind of like Little Nightmares kind of a style of game, but it's like... it's 2.5D. So it's like 3D environments, but you're moving from place. It looks like it has a lot of really cool mechanics to it. I've been wanting to play that. I don't know if that's what I'll do, but it's very similar to the other game that I was looking at too, which is Midnight Walk. Is that what it's called? What was it called? The Midnight Walk, yes. Oh my goodness, this game looks beautiful. I really want to play that game too, because it's kind of like a horror game in a way. But that game just looks really, really cool. I would love to look at that potentially as a playthrough. But I wasn't sure if I like for this stream if I'd like actually... I don't know. Do you guys want me to play a game or something? Because I feel like if I get on another tangent, I'm going to go crazy. Not to say I'm FNAF out, because I'm never FNAF'd out. I can talk about FNAF all day. But I've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes about it. And it's getting a little pathetic. Oh my goodness. Stay up latte. Is there any other sources of information we've gotten about this game outside of like all this? I think I'll be able to stream it day of, whenever it comes out. Because that's coming out June 13th, which is very close to my birthday. Yeah, that's coming out on Friday. That's perfect. Literally perfect, because I'm off on that day. Very excited. Okay, I want to try this game. I was a bit hesitant because it's a little bit expensive, but like I This game looks really, really fun. Okay. Oh, actually, I should probably make sure I can actually play it. Steam family. I should be able to. Full controller support, yeah. Hold on. Visually, it looks stunning. I know you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but I'm making internal decisions out loud. That's how I operate. Nothing stays in, it has to come out. Okay. Because I was already planning on probably getting this. Hopefully this doesn't... Oh, why is it over here? Why is it doing that? That's silly. Let's see. Oh man, this is another game I really want to play. Has anybody noticed that like we've gotten like a lot of peak recently, like a lot of peak games, like Doom just came out, and oh, goodness, if I was actually good at those types of games, I would be playing that right now because I'm trying to play Oblivion. It's just there's so many games out right now that I'm just like my brain doesn't know what to do with it all, and it's so expensive, and I'm so broke as I'm buying a $30 game. No, this one will be fun though. Let's see what's fun. Once upon a time. This is gonna take a while though, so we got time. We'll still be talking. Let's see. Anything else exciting to talk about with this game? Anything exciting going on? I don't know. It's still a funny question. Anyways, game downloading. We'll be playing a game soon. I don't know if it'll be good though, but we'll see. Because based on like the trailers and stuff, it looks fun. It's on a puppet. It's kind of like a sort of Little Nightmares, less horror. I think it's still a horror game. I think it's at least classified, but it's like a 2.5D platformer. That looks very interesting. Got a lot of interesting mechanics, I think. Your coffee habits. I'm always watching and learning. Isn't it also? Wait a second. I feel like that's a direct quote from, because doesn't he say that? He says that in, oh, it's showing up here for some reason again. Does he say that? He says that in Storyteller. Not Storyteller, Tiger Rock. Am I crazy? I have been wrong before whenever it comes to, like, quoting things. Like, I'm almost certain. Hold on, trying to get the quote. Let's see. This is the part that I'm talking about. It's not like a direct, but interesting. I found an interesting quote in relation to the game, guys. Aren't you so excited? In this part, this is the part I was referencing. Tiger Rock, yeah. So it says here, this is Kai from the story. Tiger Rock from the books. This is the books, guys. It says Kai hit the bottom of the slide, staggered for a second, then caught his balance. Wait, that's not the part I was looking for. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. It says right here, like, oh, I love learning. I'll learn anything I can. It's all how you pay attention and take in what you see and hear. You feel me? Kai chuckled. Unlike Freddy and the other animatronics Kai had overheard, Tiger Rock had some flair. Not only was he more fluid, speaking more naturally with contractions, he also spoke with a little bit of swag, like a DJ on the radio. That's interesting. By the way, that's really interesting. The fact that he sounds like a DJ on the radio, for reasons. How would you like to learn something? Like what? I've got a shit, guys, he said the thing. The mimics already said the thing. He said, Tiger Rock leaned down and lowered his voice to, I've got a secret. The mimic said it. I can show you how things work around here. And then proceeds to kind of like show him the backstage and stuff. But I just thought that was kind of funny. He said the thing, guys. Roll credits. The mimic says he has a secret. It's the secret of Tiger Rock, but the mimic, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's it. It's completely pointless, but I thought it was funny. He said it. He said, I've got a secret. This thing is at 6%. This is probably going to take a while. I feel like I should probably, like... Hold on, that's not what I want to do. The secret of the mimic leaked footage. It's just Kai makes a random appearance in 1979. That would be like Gregory being referenced in Into the Pit with the GGY thing. It's like, is Gregory from the past? I don't know. I have no idea. So considering that like Into the Pit isn't even really the true past, you could argue that like maybe Gregory actually was able to interact with that, but like I don't know. That'd be funny though. It's interesting. I've got a secret. He also references like, oh, I know how to play hide and seek. I learned long ago. Potentially referencing this game because it seems like we're going to be playing a big old game of hide and seek. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing because it's like the monster's kind of hiding from us in a way. Which is fun. A fun mechanic. Hopefully they utilize that well. Oh wait, it's not ready to play though. I don't think so. I will say that kind of looks really cool. I know this is thrilling. want to do is sleep. You look terrible. Is there any other secrets we can find? I guess we should watch this again. Hold on, did we get a... Oh, Archive MCM E. Murray. 411. Interesting. Wait, hold on. 4... This right here. 411. That's interesting. Is that something we should look into? Splice here. That's a classic like VHS. Universal letter. Leader. MCM Universal Leader. Okay. Interesting. Oh, it's... Huh. It's almost like you can see like a figure here. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. Appreciate you sticking around longer than I probably would, because I feel like I'm not really doing much at all. What is this, though? This is like somebody, like, I don't know. Is there any Easter egg?
Look terrible. I'm exhausted. So much to do by morning. I'll never be ready for my big presentation. All I want to do is sleep.
Why sleep when you can stay up latte?
Stay up late?
No, latte. It's new, for nice. Try it.
Oh, distinctive taste. Rich and roasted, yet creamy and sweet. Give me more.
That's Murray's secret recipe. The Stay Up Latte creates the perfect cup of coffee suited to you, based on your coffee habits.
I know what you want better than you do. I am...
Oh, wait a second. Oh, heck. Wait. Isn't that voice?
Than you do. I am always watching and learning how they know.
Isn't that the same exact voice from the, hold on. Let's see if an help wanted to. What's the, hold on. The Fast Force thing. Maybe this is not right.
In the ancient past, calling
This sounds like so similar to the voice sounds very similar to Fast Force, like this right here.
Watching and learning how they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come. How they know they're come.
Morning. Did you stay up all night?
No, I stayed up
Wait,
latte. After 2 full pots, I'm ready to work. Promotion, here I come.
How they know they're
Morning. Did you stay up all night?
No, I stayed up latte. After 2 full pots, I'm ready to work. Promotion, here I come.
That's the very difference.
it sounded like something was going on with the audio. I don't know if there's nothing to that though. I don't know.
calling out from beyond time and space. Fast Force Freddy summons his intergalactic bandmates, the champions of Fast Force.
It sounded like kind of similar to...
Ready to bark!
His friends.
Interesting. I don't know. Probably a very loose connection, just same audio quality. I don't know. Well, hold on. Let me, I don't know how long this is going to take to download. Hold on. if that's gonna mess anything up. It's probably gonna pull it up here. No, it's okay. We're good. Oh wait. Oh, I think I just messed it up too, because it's like, darn it. It's gonna do anything. Okay. Oh, hey. Not once again. I am in a state of. At a certain point, I was almost thinking like I was analyzing the voice of like presumably. I guess whatever this ends up being.
How they know they're coming. How they know they're coming.
It reminded me of the. I guess just like the filters that are on it reminded me of like the Fast Force commercial. Just a little bit, just the way that it sounds, I guess. There's not much of like a connection there, to be honest. But I don't know, just interesting. But yeah, that's definitely. I was looking at some Brighton images of this. This is definitely the Cardboard Nurse, I think. I was also trying to figure out how to speed up this download, and I don't think I can. I messed it up, and now it's going to take much longer, unfortunately. Dang, it's like an hour and a half download speed. That's not good. Disk usage. Stolen files. Okay. Anyways. I'm not sure. I might, I'm probably going to take a break and probably in stream here, and then I might come back a little later whenever this game downloads. And then I've got lunch that I haven't eaten lunch, and it's 4 o'clock. Goodness, it's 4 o'clock. What the heck? Where did time go? I'm gonna go in the stream, and then I'll come back probably later to play some Once Upon a Puppet. I think that'll be fun. Oh yeah, that would be fun. Like the one from FNAF AR, like the Flaming Springtrap. Like they had something that was similar to that as one of the AR skins. I never played that game. Whenever I finally got a, this is so funny. When I actually finally got a phone that was capable of playing AR, they pulled down that game. I was so sad. Because I know, like, people were saying the game wasn't that great, but, like, I felt like they were still, like, fans of it. At least, I know there was, like, a big mod, like, Forsaken AR that was, like, really big in it. I don't know if that's still playable. That would be fun, though. I just know all the, like, cut content from it, because, oh boy. I don't know if like, you've ever looked into the cut content of FNAF AR. It is fascinating. It was going to be, like, a completely different game that I guess, like, Scott just wasn't happy with. I think there was a lot of input from, like, Illumix that wasn't supposed to be in there, that like Scott had to like shift them away from for like the gameplay and stuff, because it was dealing with stuff like Remnant and like just all of that. The gameplay, I don't know. I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you. But very interesting. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and eat some lunch. At this point, like dinner, practically, unfortunately. And then I'll come back and I might play this game that I'm downloading or trying to download, because this is probably gonna be a really fun game based on the like stuff. So I will tell you guys what that game is later, but I'll see you guys after I get some nice lunch. And I'll see you guys in a bit.